I'm getting a very wet bum. This is my this is how I get compost to and from the supermarket. It's literally 2 skateboards. 2 skateboards and a plank of wood. Anyway, okay, so today is a really horrible, rainy, drizzly day, but it's my day off, so I've got to make the most of it. And I have a massive to-do list of things to do in the garden. I'm going to be planting out some beans, sowing lots of seeds. I've got all of these. Actually, maybe I should change the angle a bit. So I've got loads of stuff there that I want to kind of plant out or show off. And this is a very exciting one because this is choicea, which is Mexican orange blossom, and it smells amazing when it's in flower. I got some from the park near my house. I just cut some cuttings, and I cut 6 cuttings, put 2 in each of these pots, and most of them have just completely died, but that's fine. I expected that. I think that this one has a new little shoot there, which is exciting, and then I think that this bit has died. These ones have like new buds on the top, so that's really cool. I think that they're actually surviving. And then this one, this has definitely died, but this little shoot here, I think that that's okay. I think they need a couple more weeks before I'll know kind of, before they'll properly take root. But yeah, lots of exciting things to do in the garden today. That's exciting. It's like the end of April now, and it's been a really cold month. It's not frosted in London anyway, so that's fine because like I've got a lot of stuff outside that is not hardy at all. But it has been really cold, which has meant like a lot of stuff is just taking ages. I'm really slow to start, but the stuff that's inside is doing okay. So I might start to kind of harden things off. Well, hello there. I've already done some stuff in the garden this morning, which I've probably already put in this vlog, but the sun, well, it hasn't really come out, but it's a bit brighter and it doesn't look like it's just about to rain, and it's not as cold as it was this morning. So I thought I'd actually get a bit more done. I've got my gardening diary journal book thing here, and yesterday I wrote a list of like all the things I wanted to get done. I cut myself earlier. I wrote a list of all of the things I wanted to get done in the garden this weekend, and I wrote sow Brussels sprouts, done, did that this morning. Sow cucumbers, sow nasturtiums, sow calendula, and I haven't done any of those, so that's I think what I'm going to do next. Pot out courgettes, done. Sow more peas, did that this morning. Pot out the other seed tray, that's what I did this morning. Feed strawberries. Now that's a tricky one because I would feed them with banana skins soaked in water, or like water that has had banana skins seeped in it for like a day. And I don't have any banana skins, but there are some bananas in our fruit bowl that are going quite brown. So I might ask my flatmate if I can use those to make banana bread, and then I can use the skins to feed the bananas. This is the cool thing about gardening. It's like everything that you would normally throw away has a use. It's so cool. It's like those bananas could just go to waste, but then not only am I going to make banana bread, but I'm also going to be able to feed the strawberries, and then the strawberries are going to be able to feed me, and it's just so good. The circularity of it all is very satisfying. I'm going to add a couple of things to this list as well, because I realised this morning that I think my squash has really good roots, and normally I think you have to wait to plant out squash until it's really hot, because squash just needs warmth, but it's actually doing okay in that pot. It's been outside since I planted it, and I'll get it. It's doing okay. This is my squash. So I sowed this seed on the 20th of March, which was over a month ago. That was a month and a week ago. And you can see like these seedling leaves have been eaten by probably a slug. But if you look in the bottom, I don't know if you can see that, but there are roots like there, and there are roots coming through the bottom, which means that it's kind of done as much as it can do in this pot. I probably could leave it in there for a couple more weeks, but this leaf is starting to get eaten by something, and it's got another leaf that wants to come out, but I just think it needs a bit of a kick. So I think I'm going to plant this out today. And this seed was from a butternut squash that I just bought from the supermarket, and I was like, that'd be fun to make butternut squash. So it was completely free. Well, it wasn't free, I had to buy the butternut squash, but I got a butternut squash. And then I was gonna, again, everything that you're gonna throw away has a use. So yeah, there we go, free butternut squash, which is pretty cool. I love it. And then I want to see if there's anything else that I can sow. I don't think I've sown any of these yet, but I don't really have room. I might put these into a tray. If I sow them into a seed tray, then that might even be enough room for them. I could just leave them there. I don't really have room for them in the garden. Everything's kind of full at the moment. This is the cucumber that I've got. It's called Market More. It's a pretty standard, I've not grown cucumber before, and this is a pretty standard variety. I really like the little cucumbers that are really kind of crunchy. This says that they make 20 centimetre long, so what's that, like that? Which is probably the maximum that I'd want them, so I might pick them a bit early. It says April to May, plant indoors. and then May to June, director or plant outdoors. So that's what we're going to be sowing today. And then I've also got lots more sweet peas, and I'm really tempted to do more of these because I want them to be all along this fence here. I want the sweet peas to be kind of all along this wall. So I'm gonna need quite a few, but I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I've planted another 4 or 5 inside. And that might be enough, but this is a new strain. Well, it's not a new strain, it's like one that I haven't grown before. I might save these for next year. It doesn't say when they're up, like when the expiry date is, but that's okay. I think they should be fine for next year. These are the nasturtiums I'm gonna plant. I'm gonna plant these with the squash, I think, and also with the courgette that's gonna go in there, this one. I'm gonna have a courgette or a cucumber that kind of comes down there and is like trailing all along this wall. Imagine it trailing. And I'm going to plant these with that because these are climbing. A vigorous, quick-growing climber for long-lasting summer colour. Excellent for scrambling over walls or covering fences, trellises and obelisks. And apparently they're a really good companion to brassicas, or squashes, I mean. So we're going to plant this with the courgette or cucumber. Let's get planting. All the essentials, right. So this is where I'm gonna be putting my squash. I had my dahlias in here, but only one of them survived the winter. So I've moved that over to the flower bed here, and now I've got this free. And I'm gonna be putting my squash, which I made from homemade seed, home saved seed, and also some climbing nasturtiums. Yeah, cool. I can sow these straight outside, so everything is just gonna go straight in here today. It's also getting quite waterlogged in here. I don't think that's good for squash. I don't really know whether things need like more drainage or more water. I'm not very good at knowing stuff like that, so I just plant stuff, and if it survives, it survives. Which does get me into trouble, and I do lose a lot of plants that way, but I just get quite overwhelmed with like the different rules and the different like ways that you're supposed to do things. So I just kind of do them with what I've got, and you know, I think gardening is one of those things that like you could spend an infinite amount of money trying to get it perfect, and like buying 50 different types of soil and different like treatments and pot types and additions to your soil and different seed types, but at the end of the day, a plant is a plant, and like I think you've just got to let nature like do its thing, and if it wants to survive, it will survive, and I'm not going to force anyone to be here against their will, and that goes for you too. So yeah, you can see that there's like loads of roots in there. It's not completely done with this pot. I feel like it could grow more, and that's probably because there's so much water in here because it's been outside. I think if it were a little bit drier, and if I kind of left it to get dry, it probably would have grown stronger roots, but that's okay, it'll do fine, I think. So I'm just gonna put that in here. It looks so tiny in this massive container, but squash grow huge, so it's going to completely fill it and spill over the edge, and there'll be squash sprouting everywhere, so it'll be fine. Now, I actually know from my mum's garden that nasturtiums really like kind of dry, stony soil. They just do so well in stones, and I have a patch over there that's basically gravel. It's like really dry, stony ground. So I'm definitely going to plant some in there so that they can kind of climb up that wall with the sweet peas. I think that'd be cute. But for now, Let's just do some lovely. Right, that's that done. Okay, so these had my onion sets in them that are now here, and they're a really good size for cucumbers now, so that's what we're going to do. I'm going to do one cucumber and one calendula. I've got eight, and that should do me pretty well. I don't really have room for all of these plants, and I'm very tempted to make more raised beds so that I do have room for them. But for the minute, I'm just gonna have to be okay with the 2 beds that I've got. Oh, I got dirt in my tea. Oh well. Nutrients. But you can't garden without tea, so I don't really know what I'm supposed to do. Anyway. This is like the really cheap compost, but I haven't grown anything with it before, but it looks like really bad quality. I mean, I suppose what you get what you pay for, but like, it looks just kind of like coir. It's quite light. Like if I compare, I don't know if you can see, but like compare some kind of matted grass type thing. I don't know. It's not fully broken down, but there's also not really like woody lumps in it, so I don't really know what it is. I don't know, we'll give it a chance. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? Everything could die, all of my efforts would be wasted. It's not so bad. When these are like fully grown and they're producing fruit, they need 1 meter each. And my garden's pretty tiny, so I definitely don't have room for 8 plants that need 1 meter each. In fact, I probably only have room for 1. But that's okay, you know. I can give them away, and I can just pick the healthiest ones, and it's fine, you know. It's for the joy of growing them, and it doesn't cost anything to grow more, you know. Growing 1 is the same as growing lots, and if you grow 1 and then it dies, then you haven't got any. Plus it would be annoying to do like half a tray. So that's my justification for sowing so many seeds. This is market law. Done. Whoa! These seeds are so cool. Ooh, they're really weird. They look like little dead caterpillars. Really weird. It does actually say sow these outside where they're gonna grow. But I don't really know where I want them to grow. So I'm gonna sow them in here. And then when I've decided where they're gonna grow, I'll plant them out. And that will be okay. I think I'm gonna do 2 seeds per plug. I'm gonna do 3 in all of them, okay? Okay, you happy with that? 3 in each. Or dropped 1. Okay. Done. calendula seeds are weird. So strange. I think I'm done. That was fun.